It is time. There's always a little lag, so I always wonder if this thing is working. I'm just talking to myself for the first 5 seconds, hoping that it works. And then I see that it works. And then I start saying hi. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining today's live stream. How's everybody doing? It's really cold, isn't it? Yeah, the cold finally got here. It finally came to Colorado. I love it. I love the snow, although today is a little too cold. A little too cold. I don't like it when I have to wear sweaters inside the house. But here I am. I'm wearing a jacket because I don't want to turn on the whole heating system. No, not in this economy. I'll wear all the sweaters. I'll dress like I'm on my way to Everest inside the house if I have to. But I'm not turning on that heater today. Not at all. Good morning, everybody. I have one of my moderators. In this one, we will need a few moderators. Is anybody wanting to be a moderator for me? Any volunteers? Hey, Linda Howard. Aw, thank you. Hello from London, Oregon. I love Oregon. I was in Bend a few years ago. Such a beautiful place. All right, Horse Gone Wild. Horse Gone Wild, moderator. All right, let's make you a moderator. Sweet. All right. Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are going to be doing part 4, basically the last part, because we only have about 10 to 15 minutes left of this video. So we're going to be doing the last 10 minutes. And then right after that, we'll be doing the sticker giveaway. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I am so excited about the sticker giveaway, you guys. I love giving away free things. If you didn't know, I've worked retail before, and I did work for the outdoor industry for a really long time. And one of my favorite things was giving away free swag. People love free things. Everybody gets so excited about getting free swag. Yay! Free swag! Although, yeah, I only have stickers for now. And so hopefully our next giveaway will have hats. I want to make shirts as well. So our next giveaway will be bigger. Hoping, right? But yeah, I'm really excited to be giving you all some stickers. But yeah, here in Colorado, we finally got snow. A little bit late. It's supposed to be snowing here around October, usually, is when it starts to snow. November, definitely December. Every Christmas is a white Christmas, except for this past Christmas. So it's really exciting to finally see some snow, and it's a little cold. Although when it gets a little too cold, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. Last night, though, it was really nice because it got down to like the 10s. It was super cold in my room. I liked it because it freezes my body. And because as you know, I've been dealing with tech neck and neck pain and back pain. It's really nice when you get frozen in the middle of the night because you don't feel anything. I didn't feel anything at all. My body was numb. All of my bones had fused together, so it was so nice. I had such a good night's sleep. But then in the morning, when I began to defrost, that is when I start feeling everything all over my bones. Yeah, it's like I'm like a transformer, like Transformer, like Autobots assemble. Except when the Autobots assemble, they're going out to battle. Except for me, Autobots assemble. And it's really just me battling my skeletal system. That's really how I feel every morning when coming back to life. I'm defrosting like Mariah Carey. So, yeah, at least now I took a really warm bath. So I have completely defrosted. It's good. It feels nice. But yeah, how's everybody out there? I know it's really cold in some places. I know it's summer in Australia, ain't it? It's summer down in New Zealand and Australia, down in our southern hemisphere. What's it like? A free sticker will help you get your macros dialed in. Yeah, it does help. I'm sure it helps. Okay. Yes, it's really cold right now. Okay. Well, we have a few people here today. We're going to go ahead and continue with Nichol Kessinger and whether or not Chris really exposes her or not. He does give away some hints, some clues about it, but does he actually give her away? Who knows? I mean, I think we know, right? He hasn't really actually given her away completely. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. And we're going to see what was said, especially with Dylan Tallman. Dylan Tallman being Chris's cellmate, the guy that was right next to Chris Watts. And they wrote Bible stories together. Oh, they became such good friends, these two. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and see what this guy said.
Who he now refers to as Jezebel. And this is the segment of Tallman's book that immediately grabbed my attention. Referring to the night of August 12th, during the 111-minute phone call, the book reads, "It was near the end that the mistress tried to make Chris choose between her and his wife and kids. Chris claims that he chose his wife and kids and that Nichol was not too fond of that decision. So Dylan asked Chris, when did Nichol make you choose? And it was at that moment that Chris would admit to Tallman that it was the night of the incident.
The night of the incident. So I was talking with a lot of you about this, actually. Chris says the night of the incident, not the morning of the incident. So it has a few of us speculating whether or not this actually happened the morning of, or at least for the girls, right? Whether the girls were murdered the night before Shanann arrived. And then when Shanann arrived, she was either ambushed or who really knows, right? That is what we're trying to get to. But I think it's very interesting that Chris says that he decided that night. That night he had the girls. And like we've discussed, we've seen this very video here of neighbor Nate's camera, and we see some feet, little, what it looks like small feet or a small person kind of walking behind the truck. So did he do something to one of the girls that night? Why does Chris refer to it as that night? And Nichol says the same thing, right? Nichol says, oh yeah, that night. Or actually, I hadn't gone to sleep yet. So because I hadn't gone to sleep yet, it was still the previous day. It only becomes the next day when I close my eyes and I wake up the next morning. Oh my God, it's Tuesday. But what do we think? What do we think about this? What are all your thoughts? Thanks, Tammy. Yeah, I always forget my call to action. But yeah, what do we think about this part that even Dylan says, oh yeah, he decided that night? Was it that night or was it that morning? Or is he as confused as Nichol because he hadn't shut his eyes yet? I hadn't gotten my Mimi's. Oh, Mimi time. And so he didn't know what day it was because the sun hadn't come up yet. He's a chicken, remember? He comes up with the sun and he goes down with the sun. All right, let's continue.
In case it isn't clear, that would mean on August 12th at 9:28 p.m., Chris Watts spoke with Nichol Kessinger for nearly 2 hours. And on that call, she demanded that Chris choose between her and Shanann. and her demand would receive even more clarity in Tallman's later books, and I assure you, we're about to get to that. At 11:21 p.m., Chris finally gets off the phone with Nichol and
His BS
immediately
excuses.
responds to
I
Shanann's
fell
text
asleep.
message telling him that her flight had been delayed. It was the last lie that Chris Watts texted his wife Shanann while she was still alive.
And here we go. We are in August 13th.
Shanann's friend
now.
Cassie would receive a text from her confirming that she had landed in Denver just before 1:30 a.m. This would be the last and final outgoing communication that would ever be sent from Shanann's phone. At 1:48 a.m., the Watts family Vivint security system logged Shanann's entry through their front door. And from 1:48 to 4:23 a.m., no further movement was detected on the main floor of the Watts family home.
Interesting. Okay, so from 1:48 to 4:23, there was no movement detected on the main floor of the home. What do they mean by this? Like inside the home or outside the home? I'm guessing it's outside because they only had cameras outside. It would have been nice if they had cameras inside. I have cameras inside so that I can watch my cats, while I'm filming, because I don't want to neglect my cats for 20 minutes. I need to make sure that they're eating constantly. You know how cats are. When you don't give them a treat every 5 minutes, they're like, "Ew, I'm starving." So I have cameras so I can make sure to push the button to give them a treat while I'm here with you all. But yeah, it would have been nice to have cameras inside. That way we could have actually seen what happened. And we wouldn't be in this mystery that we're stuck in today. And most importantly, everyone responsible for this crime would be in prison right now. But I read that a few of you do think that Cece was unalived that night. So the day that they had that barbecue, the day that Chris went across the street, he tells the detectives, "Oh yeah, there was a party, across the street. Yeah, over there, my friends. Yeah, I took him to a birthday party." So, yeah, I do wonder because, again, that video footage of neighbor Nate's camera, it's just not clear. And of course, we have the most hated tree in true crime history blocking our view. So we don't really know. And it's really difficult to see if there are two small bodies walking around, or if it's just Chris, or if it's Chris and another adult. Who is it? Who is there? If there is anybody helping him, who was it? Or was it the girls? Or was it just one of them? We don't know. But lots of interesting theories. And again, all of this based on the evidence. Let's continue.
It's this period of time that has become the primary source of speculation by the media, the public, and even law enforcement. The expeditious conviction of Chris Watts left so many unanswered questions, and while we cannot know with any degree of certainty whether or not Dylan Tallman's books credibly answer the questions that so many of us still have, it is important to remember that Tallman is a self-admitted career criminal who has spent most of his adult life in prison. Inmates on that level of security lockdown are not exposed to the media the same way that we are.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point that he's making here because, yeah, he is a career criminal. He's not watching YouTube videos and TikTok posts and watching the news. So anything that he knows about the case, it's because Chris told him. But of course, how can we really believe anything that Chris says? What do you all think? Courtney, welcome. Thank you. Welcome to Platinum. But yeah, what do we think about this? Because there are truths, there are half-truths, and then there are just blatant lies coming out of Chris's face. What is true and what isn't? Anything that Dylan says came from the source himself, but the source himself is not even reliable either. So what can we really believe about this guy? Can we do a slow-mo on Chris's driveway? Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think it's so weird that there's only one camera that captured this that morning, isn't it? I feel like everyone, at least in my neighborhood, I feel like everyone out here has cameras. I mean, then again, this was 2018, but in 2018 weren't there Ring cameras out already? I mean, Vivint was already out. So I don't know. I just think it's really weird that in that entire neighborhood, only neighbor Nate's camera captured something that morning. It would have been nice if the other neighbor also captured something. So then we would have had two angles and possibly even more angles from the houses down the street. But that's just me wishing other people had cameras. What kind of criminal is Dylan? Dylan, from my understanding, Dylan was some kind of like petty thief or something. Armed robbery, grand theft, stuff like that. From my understanding, Dylan never murdered anybody. He didn't physically harm anyone, or at least that he was convicted for, of course. The things that he was convicted for were, crimes like petty, what is it? Robbery. I wouldn't say robbery is petty, or is it? I don't know. But yeah, that's what he was convicted for. He was convicted for those types of crimes. And he was Chris's neighbor. And Chris murdered his entire family. Which also, I wonder how, what's his name? Tallman. I wonder how Tallman can even be friends with someone like Chris. If I was over here, I don't know, robbing people, I guess I don't already have respect for people if I'm robbing them, right? But I feel like even a robber would still have a little bit more respect over children, even. So I have no respect for this guy, Dylan, at all. How can you be friends with a family annihilator? On top of that, why are you robbing people? Get a job. Let's continue.
In fact, in his books, he admits that he didn't even know the details surrounding the crimes that Chris was convicted of, which is why his recitation of the conversations that he had with Chris appears to ring true. But as always, I'm going to let you decide. Towards the end of Tallman's first book, he recalls a discussion he had with Chris where he was advocating for him.
Let's see this part again. I just saw a recent video. Zawoki did that recent video with, I think it's a psychologist. And that thing that she does with her fist, that is wild. We didn't catch that I didn't catch it when I was watching her, or at least this section. She does the whole thing with her fist when Tammy Lee and the other person walks in. That is such a dead giveaway that Nichol is super uncomfortable. And it's almost like she is like angry even that these women walked in. Let's watch this.
Why his recitation of the conversations that he had with Chris appears to ring true.
If they show it.
But as always, I'm going to let you decide. Towards the end.
Right there. What in the world? Look at that. It's like she got tense. She's like, who are you? She's feeling the heat. She's feeling that stress when they walk in. I mean, just look at her face. She looks like she's seen a ghost. She's like, paranormal activity. And Tammy Lee is just like, hey, very nice to meet you. I heard you're a witness, but not really. Yeah. Oh, and I heard that you deleted all of your text messages. Yeah, very nice to meet you, Nichol. And she's like, hi. This is so telling. Look at that. I don't know how I missed this, but that is insane. And I'm so glad that we caught this, because what innocent woman does that? Either that, or she just doesn't. She feels threatened by other women in her same space, especially when she's talking to men. Oh, this is Kevin. He's my man. You better not be talking to my man. He's mine, girl. Get your own. Get your own Kevin. Get your own Detective Kevin, who is also a pizza delivery guy and also works for Verizon Wireless. He's mine. I mean, who knows? Who knows if that's what it is? But I get the impression that she's one of those people, the pick me girls. Pick me, please. Let's continue.
the end of Tommen's first book, he recalls a
I'm sorry, I had to stop it again. Even the way that she oh, yeah, very nice to meet you. She does that firm handshake, which she does it with the men as well. But when she goes for the women's handshake, she's like, I'm going to dominate you. Hello, my name is Nichol. Which is, again, why? Why? Why is she trying to be the alpha female here? Lady, you are the mistress. You're the mistress, girl. Let's continue.
Discussion he had with Chris where he was advocating for him to file various pleadings via the appellate process. It's there that Chris responds by discussing the moment that Shanann walked through the door after arriving home at 1:48 a.m. My wife came home and she knew that I was having an affair and we got into a fight.
What?
Chris then jumps ahead in the story and tells Dylan, after a while, I talked to Nichol and I confided in her and she said she would help me. Chris then claims that it was Nichol who told him what to do and how to dispose of Shanann's remains. And Chris also states that it was Nichol who told him to bring the girls with him in his truck.
Okay, how much of this do we believe? Chat, how much of this do we believe? That Shanann found out? No. Shanann never knew. In my opinion, I don't think Shanann ever found out. Again, because Chris is too cowardly to say anything. He's too much of a coward. There is no way that I believe that Chris told her or that Shanann found out. Shanann had her suspicions, right? She had her suspicions, especially the day of the lazy dog, because Chris ran out of his gift cards, his little gift cards that Anadarko would give him. And so he supposedly ran out of gift cards, and so he had to use his debit card. And Shanann ended up seeing the lazy dog charge, and that's when she started to piece things together. And that was around the first time that we see, at least in the text messages, that she starts to wonder if Chris really is cheating on her. But I don't think for a second that Chris actually admitted it to her because, again, he's a wimp. He's a wimp. He was not going to fight with Shanann and have an altercation with her. I don't believe this for a second. But what do you all think? Yeah, Chris is an idiot. He couldn't do this on his own. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that they had any emotional conversation. There is no evidence of it. Even the way that Chris talks about it with Graham Coder, right? We had a really emotional conversation. Yeah, we cried. I cried a lot. Yeah, it was just so emotional, because there were girls involved and stuff. Yeah, it was so sad. Obvious BS. So clearly there wasn't an emotional conversation. Yeah. Anything coming from Chris Watts is questionable. Yes, I agree. I mean, he could be lying to this guy, to Dylan, just so that Dylan won't hate him. Who knows, right? Who knows? Chris tries to be this guy that, I want everybody to like me. He does it with Graham Coder even. He's like, I know how you have only known me for like 5 minutes, but like, what do you think of me? He's asking people, like, what do you think of me? Please let me know so that I know how to act. And so I get the impression that Chris probably lied to his cellmate too, to his little neighbor, so that his neighbor won't think all these awful things about Chris. So I think that Chris was probably just making a lot of this up just to make himself the victim, as always, because he doesn't want to take accountability for a lot of the things. And although there are lies, I do believe that some of them are true, though. And even though he's trying to make himself the victim, because he is dumb, as we believe, and he is a little bit slow, and I don't think that he would have been able to carry out that plan by himself, I do believe that at least there is some truth to it. I do believe there is truth to it. Because, again, Chris is the guy that wants to be liked, and he wants to make himself the victim, and, oh, nothing is my fault. But then again, there are parts of his story that I am more willing to believe based on the evidence and based on Nichol Kessinger herself. And so I do believe that it was Nichol who pushed him. It was Nichol who probably gave him the idea. And it was probably Nichol who came up with the idea to take everybody to Survey 319. Even Nichole's cousin says, oh, Nichol isn't dumb enough to tell him to take the family to his work site. I think that is Nichole's cousin trying to convince us that Nichol is just not dumb enough to tell him to take his family to Survey 319. Except that she did, and so now she's backtracking via her cousin, of course. Via her cousin. I'm Nichole's cousin. Let's continue.
The woman eventually asks Chris why he didn't call the police. Chris claims that he had never been in trouble before and it was his first instinct to call Nichol. However, there's no call record of Chris ever calling Nichol after Shanann arrived home. But law enforcement themselves admitted that Chris and Nichol were communicating via some other app that they never found.
Yeah, what is up with that? How did they never find the app? That is so weird to me. How are you the FBI and the CBI, but you can't get an app? I'm not a tech savvy person, okay? I'm not like Nichol, right? I'm not tech savvy, but I do know how to turn on the Wi-Fi on my phone. However, I don't really know too much about apps, but if you do delete an app, say Snapchat, can you get that back if you're the FBI? I would assume, right? You're the FBI. You're the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You have all of the technology, all of the resources available to you to be able to get all of this back. And there's a lot of evidence that suggests that they were communicating via Snapchat. And if you don't know anything about Snapchat, Snapchat is cool for this kind of stuff, apparently, because the messages get deleted after like a few seconds or something. So a lot of cheating happens on Snapchat. A lot of weird, sketchy things happen on Snapchat because you can send pictures and messages and they all get deleted. And from all of the things that we've seen, they were communicating via Snapchat and all of those things were deleted. But again, why couldn't the FBI gather any of that stuff? That's weird. That's really weird to me. What do you all think? Yeah, I gotta love the cousin. Yes, I agree. They didn't find it because they didn't look. They didn't even look because Chris confessed. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, case closed, everybody. Case closed. Chris confessed. No need to look into this very obvious person anymore. Oh, all of her lies and all of her deleted text messages. Oh, no need to look at that anymore, you guys. Case closed. Good job, everybody. Come on, really? But see, this is the thing, is that the investigation still went on for a while before Chris took the plea deal. This investigation started immediately, the same day that it happened. So they had all of August, September, October to look into all of this stuff, and they still didn't. A little sketchy to me, a little sketchy. But what are all of your thoughts? Yeah, he confessed and everything stopped. God, what a shame. What a shame. D.A. Rourke. Yeah, and that's the truth, right? That's the truth with prosecutors, is they just want to prosecute. They just want to win a case. And well, yeah, it's good in some cases. In cases like these, though, we need the full truth and we need full justice. Full justice. So again, I think they screwed up. I really do. But let's continue.
Which would explain how Chris was receiving images from Nichol on a near daily basis. And it's why in my first video, I suggested that law enforcement should have and still could ascertain if Nichol and Chris were communicating on an app like Skype.
Yes.
Because Tallman states in his book that Chris told him that after he had already ended the life of Shanann, Nichol Kessinger showed up and met with Chris to help him get rid of the evidence.
Wow.
That Chris told him Nichol was the one who came up with the idea of what they should do, including helping Chris dig the holes at Survey 319.
Oh my God. What do we think about this? That is insane. I mean, this has always been speculation, right? It's been a theory, but Dylan Tallman said it and Chris told him. So there are essences of truth, right? There's the essence of truth, part truth, or is it the full truth? Is Chris finally reconsidering what he did? Is he thinking about, hey, maybe I should say something? Maybe I should tell the truth. Maybe I have a chance at getting out, even though he still doesn't. He still doesn't. I don't think that he still does. But if this is true, why is he telling Dylan? Why is he telling his cellmate and not the police? And why is he still quiet about it? Yes, I believe she helped 100%. Yep. And again, these are not just beliefs, right? This is all based on the evidence. Who has a 111-minute conversation and doesn't remember? Who has a phone pinging at 6:16 in the morning for no reason? Who tells the boyfriend that just murdered their entire family to delete all of their text messages? See, all of these things combined are why Nichol Kessinger is or looks so suspicious. Maybe he's scared to rat on her. That is a very interesting point, and I have thought about that as well. Maybe he is scared to rat her out. He's either scared or maybe Nichol lied to him, told him, hey, I'm having your baby, Chris. Don't rat on me, baby, please. You don't want me to be in prison with your baby, do you? It's something that she could have done. Who knows? Who knows, right? Nichole's cousin says, oh, Nichole's baby. You'll never see the baby, Chris. You'll never see the baby. So is it possible that Nichol told Chris that she was pregnant and then dummy Chris believed it and he's like, oh, I'm going to protect her? I believe it. I do believe it. Nichol Kessinger seems like the very manipulative type. So she probably manipulated him into not giving her up. And the best way to do that, of course, was by telling him, I'm pregnant with your babe. I'm going to have a babe. And we're going to move to Alaska with my cousin. What do you all think? Oh, yeah, he's never disputed what Tallman wrote. Oh, good point. Good point. I don't think she had to say she was pregnant. Yeah, it could be. I mean, he did do all of this stuff before she even says she was pregnant, right? He committed this heinous crime just because a woman probably told him to or influenced him to. So who knows? Who knows? Or it could be even deeper than that, right? A lot of us speculate that maybe the family was even involved. And so if Chris were to even hint at other people being involved, they would reopen the case. And by reopening the case, that means that they would have to investigate everyone involved. And If everyone involved includes a sister or, say, a mother, who knows? I'm not saying that they were, but if it does include those people, then I would see why Chris is not willing to say anything. But let me know what you all think. Yeah, her aroma. Her stench, I should say. Let's continue.
Chris also claims that it was Nicole's idea to not speak with law enforcement, that she was the one who told him to lay low while promising to marry him. And that worst of all, it was Nichol Kessinger herself who told Chris to choose between his family or her, alleging that Nichol Kessinger told Chris to finish what he started, referring to his own daughters.
Wow.
Now, I want to be crystal clear.
Wow. What do we think about that? You know, we've been doing Nichol Kessinger a lot on this channel, and watching her interviews with the investigators, a lot of it does seem to point to a person who would be the one to tell Chris, hey, you need to choose between me or your family. Finish what you started, Chris. You're not going to leave me hanging. I took you to the sand dunes. Are you serious? You're going to leave me for them? I took you camping, though. Does that not mean anything to you, Christopher? And of course, Chris is like, oh, you're right. I love feeling all the sand all up in my cracks. I get that exfoliation for free. You're right. I really need to think about this one, Nichol. She was probably out here convincing him and giving him options, right? She does tell Chris all the time, I told him to read. Just read, Chris, read. She, you know, in my opinion, she was probably out here telling Chris, you need to read. Read that divorcing is not good for the kids. It's better to just take them out. You know, just take them out of their misery. They're going to be really, really unhappy being in a divorced family. So I think it's probably easier for you if you just give them the easy way out. You know what I'm saying, Chris? Just read. It is really bad for the children's mental health. Believe me, I went through it with my sister. We shared bunks and it was so hard on me. Well, it actually wasn't because I was like 13. But, you know, we've all seen that interview when she's talking to Kevin Kobach and she's literally saying all of these things, telling him, oh, I told him to read, that it's bad for the children. Divorce is bad. And if Nichol didn't want him to divorce, then what else did she want? Obviously, she didn't want him to stay with his family. So what other option, if not divorce, and if not staying with his family, then what is the third option that Nichol gave him? Again, we can all just speculate on that third option, right? But it does seem like that third option was get rid of them, Chris. Get rid of them. What do you all think? Yes. Oh, man. Yeah, I got a mention on Reddit. Yeah, wait till you all see the video. There's a video out today. After our live stream, after our sticker giveaway, there is a Friday video. It will go live today at 1 p.m., I believe. Yeah, we will be talking about internet trolls on that video. The trolls that are pro-Chris and are anti-Shanann, and really understanding why these sick people believe this way. Because, yeah, I mean, we see it with the family, right? So I thought it was very important to look into why this psychology even happens, why it is that people side with the killer and place blame on the victims. That is insane to me. That is insane. But let's continue.
Clear, we cannot know if any of this is true. I am simply reporting what Dylan Tallman's books say, But if you've watched any of the videos that I've made concerning Nichol Kessinger, then you already know that she has something to hide.
Yep.
That law enforcement, specifically Weld County DA Michael Rourke, has categorically refused to properly investigate the evidence that hundreds of thousands of people have begged him to investigate. And many of
Preach.
you have already heard my conversation with former police investigator Jason Fry, a man.
Hundreds of thousands of people, petitions were signed to reopen this case, to look into Nichol Kessinger. 100,000 people? Really? I mean, we could all be wrong. There is a possibility that we could all be wrong. But 100,000 people being wrong? I don't know. We're all seeing the evidence. And I will say, we're not all professionals, right? We are not all professionals. We don't have every single detail of the case because we just, unfortunately, we're not able to get our hands on it. But we can see the evidence and we can come up with our own conclusions based on just common sense. A lot of this is really common sense. If you've been around for a few years and you've interacted with people and you start to figure out, when it is that people lie and why people do certain things, you can start to kind of picture things and start to piece things together about this case. You can start to notice people's characteristics, how they are, their morals, their values, and literally all of the actual black and white evidence that we have. And you can come up with your own conclusions that way, right? And so it's crazy that so many of us see it the same way, but the police didn't, especially Michael Rourke. Really? A witch hunt, Michael? It's not a witch hunt when the mistress told the boyfriend to delete his text messages. How is that a witch hunt? Hey, Chris, delete your text messages. Hey, Charlotte, delete your messages, girl. Oh, your dad just died? I don't care. Delete those messages, though. Oh, and delete all of those pictures. The pictures that you have of me on Facebook? Yeah, delete all of them. Yeah. Oh, what did you say? Oh, you need me because your dad just died? I'm sorry, but I can't be there for you. I have other things, very important things going on. What do you all think? What do you all think about DA Rourke and his major screw up? Yes, I agree. They made a deal with her, similar to the criminal informants, because she was a protected witness from the get-go. They treated her like Amber Fry, and she's not Amber Fry. Nichol, there was so much evidence, even before they gave her that protection, that she is not at all like Amber Fry, but they went ahead and approached it that way, and that was their mess up from the very beginning. They treated her like a victim, like she had been lied to, and oh my God, Chris, I thought we were gonna get married, but also I wasn't even that into him. Honestly, he was way more into him, or he was way more into me than I was into him. Trust me. But also, oh my God, my wedding dress. So many contradictions, and none of them were looked into. How is this possible? Yes, I agree, Candy. Rourke just got worried about his election because that's the thing with prosecutors, right? They worry about their elections. They are elected officials. And so what do elected officials need to do? They need to deliver, right? They need to produce. He needed to deliver a win in this case, and he did. And that's all he really cared about. Let's continue.
Who has investigated homicides and a litany of other related criminal actions, who has stated emphatically that law enforcement in this case had a duty to properly vet Nichol Kessinger, and they failed to do so.
Yep.
It's why I believe she disappeared from the face of the earth immediately following Chris Watts' conviction. And it's why she rushed to hire a lawyer before anyone knew anything about her, but not for criminal defense. Nichol hired a slander and libel attorney
Whoa.
to shield her from what she already.
I did not know this. Nichol hired a slander attorney? Wasn't Nichol Googling how much money did Amber Fry make from her book deal? Why isn't she writing a book? I wonder. She had to hire a libel attorney to protect her from slander. Why not just write a book, Nichol? Interesting, right? Because innocent people don't need slander and libel attorneys to protect them. If you are an innocent mistress, as you claim that you are, Nichol, you should not need an attorney. Just write a book. You don't need to go into hiding. Just write a book. What do we all think about this? This is insane. This is my first time hearing about this. I had no clue that Nichol hired anybody. How is this even possible? Exactly. We love Amber Fry. Not Nichol. Not the same. That's crazy. Let's continue.
Already knew was coming, because so many of us believe that Nichol Kessinger knows that a day is coming when the truth will come out and she will no longer be able to run from it. But until then, I will leave you with something that my grandfather taught me many years ago, an expression that he imparted during some of the most important moments of my life. It's simple, but it's true. Whatever is done in the dark, one way or another, the truth always comes to light. This first installment of the Deep Dive series is dedicated to Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico, as well as the whole Ruschek family. As a community, we all know that justice can sometimes take longer than we want it to. But we will never stop advocating for it, no matter how long it takes. And someday, when there is a new Weld County DA, I'm looking forward to sharing the hundreds of pages of research that I've compiled that I believe will aid in their investigation and be the final step towards justice. In closing, I want to take a moment just...
Nice. Love it. I love this. You know, with my channel and with many other channels I've seen, there are so many people that are like, why are you still talking about this case? This happened so many years ago. Why are you still talking about it? This is why. Because justice does take a long time sometimes. It does take time to get to the truth. Investigations take forever sometimes, especially if you're conducting a very thorough investigation. So this is the reason why we're still talking about it. And we're going to keep talking about it 10, 20, 30 years from now if we have to, until we get the truth. Because that is what these victims deserve. That is what Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico deserve. They deserve justice. And having Nitwit in prison by himself, that alone is not justice, not in my opinion. Not until everyone that was involved is where they belong, in prison with Chris, eating his chicken and carrots. Oh, I hope they're not eating chicken and carrots. I hope they're feeding him, I don't know. What can they be feeding him? Rice Krispies, but the bland kind. Oh, could you imagine? Bland Rice Krispies. Instead of marshmallows, they put glue. They just glue all the Krispies together. There you go. There you go, Chris. Eat it. Yeah, this is why we're still talking about it. This is why we're still talking about it, ladies and gentlemen. But what did we think about this video? Amazing job from Behind Criminal Minds. This is a very well put together video. All of the evidence that they put together, everything, the way that they were able to start from beginning to end, including Dylan Tallman, all of it was very, very well organized. I love this video, and I love this channel too. I learned so much from watching more and more videos because I've been down this rabbit hole for years, and to this day, we're still finding out new information. because there's still so much information, and the information is everywhere. It's out there. We kind of have to bring it together, right? This is why we're all here talking about it. We're all connecting this live stream and during our videos, because each of us has a little bit of information that we can add, and then we can start piecing things together. So amazing job from Behind Criminal Minds. But what do you all think about this video? Hot dogs unheated and expired. Yes. What was he's like so emaciated, right? He's like asking his dad for money. Oh, Dad, I need commissary money. I was so skinny. You should have seen me, Dad. I was so skinny. And Ronnie's like, oh, I'm gonna get and Chris is like, yeah. I love you too. Trust me. Oatmeal, but just alone, just oatmeal with nothing in it, and he needs to inhale it too. No spoon, nothing. Just throw it up in the air and catch it like confetti. My oatmeal. Yeah, Ronnie the mumbler. Ron. It's so hard to understand Ronnie. Even the closed captions can't keep up. They're like, is this music? No, that's a man talking to his killer son. The closed captions don't even know what's going on. But yeah. All right. Now that we are done with this video, let's go ahead and get into our sticker giveaway. Let's do our sticker giveaway, everybody. Let's do our sticker giveaway. So there was some time, right? 2 weeks to enter for the sticker giveaway. I do want to say we will be having more giveaways in the future. Like I said, I'm going to include more social media platforms and other ways to enter, just in case you don't have Instagram. A few of you reached out, told me, I don't have Instagram and I would like to enter. Unfortunately, yeah, we had to take this entry away from YouTube because of YouTube's policies, but we will be doing this again, and we'll be doing more entries so that more people can participate. But all right, we're going to go ahead and start the sticker giveaway. We've got all of these. So we have 6 stickers, or I should say 6 different giveaways. So 6 winners today, 6 winners, and we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3. And if you win, go ahead and then go to my Instagram page and DM me your address. And just so you know, the privacy policy I have added to the to this video, to this live stream, I added it to the description. So if you needed to read through that, just know that I will need your mailing address so that I can send you the stickers. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's shuffle. Let's shuffle all of them. All right, good luck, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, and we're going to do the first one. So for the first sticker, it's this one. It is the Let's Continue Rabbit Hole Rocks, and that is supposed to be a laptop. So that is this piece right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. That's this. So first sticker, let's see who's the winner. And woo! All right. Bears and Bits. Bears and Bits 57. Bears and Bits 57. Awesome. All right. Bears and Bits 57. Go ahead and go to the DM. DM me your mailing address so that you can claim your prize. All right. Bears Bits 57. Perfect. All right. Awesome. Congratulations. Bears and Bits. Congratulations. All right. Second sticker, we are doing the Let's Continue sticker. Let's continue. All right. Good luck, everybody. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Who is it? Who do we have? Muzi, what is it? Muzi Airy _ Congratulations! If I butchered your name, I'm so sorry. Go ahead and go to my DM to claim your prize. All right. Next one, we have another one of the Let's Continue stickers. Who's got this one? Good luck, everybody. Angela Cat 333. Awesome. Congratulations. Go ahead and go to the DM to claim your prize. Sorry, I just need to write these down. All right. Now let's go to our third. All right. Third one, we are doing a double. You get 2 stickers. We get a Let's Continue and the Spazzed Out Heart painting. Spazzed Out Heart painting. Who's got this one? Good luck. Hey, V Dirksen 63. Congratulations. Awesome. Go ahead and go to my DM to claim your prize. Awesome. Congrats. This is so cool. I love this. All right. 5th giveaway. This is the Let's Continue sticker and our best seller. This is my best selling sticker. It is the painting of Joshua Tree. Right back here. Best selling sticker. All right. Good luck, everybody. Who's got it? Who's got it? Who's got it? Stover 1239. Stover 1239. Congratulations. Head over to my DM to claim your prize. All right. And now the very last one. Very last one. This is the big prize, y'all. You get 5 stickers, all 5 of them. You get the Spazzed Out Heart, Joshua Tree. You get 2 Let's Continue stickers, and then you get the laptop Let's Continue sticker. 5 stickers, guys. All right. Good luck, everybody. Awesome. Sarah K4522. Sarah, congratulations. Go ahead and head to my DM to claim your prize. All right. Well, that was fun. Oh, this was so much fun. I love this stuff. I love it. Well, yeah, congratulations to everybody who won. There will be way more giveaways in the future. Like I said, I love doing these. I love giving away free stuff. I love it. And I love stickers. Before this laptop, I had a laptop literally full of stickers. My Hydro Flask, you can't even see the color anymore because it's covered in stickers. So yeah, stickers is something that I love to collect. But yeah, congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. If you want a prize, go ahead and head over to my DM to claim it. You will have 2 weeks from today to claim your prize. If for some reason someone doesn't claim their prize at the end of the 2 weeks, we will do another sticker giveaway for the ones who didn't claim. And yeah, and we'll go ahead and do it all over again. So be on the lookout for that. But if you did win, make sure that you claim your prize. I'll go ahead and mail it to you. And like I said, the privacy policy just states that I'm going to mail it to you, and that's it. And I'm going to delete your mailing address because I don't need it. I just need to give you your sticker. I would fold it up into a little paper plane and fly it over to you, but I don't think it's going to make it. And besides, why would I want to fold up the stickers? They're not going to stick anymore. But anyway, all right. Thank you all so much. Thank you for joining today. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Just so you know, we do have a video out today. We will have a video. And like I said, it's a very different type of video. I will let you all know that there is a trigger warning to this one because this one is kind of it's just nasty. We're talking about internet trolls and those that blame victims, especially in this case, Shanann. And so it's a very different type of video, but I thought it was very important to make, especially if we want to understand the psychology behind these people and the psychology of Chris Watts' own family and how it is that they are able to look past everything that their son/brother did, as heinous as it was. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for joining. Happy Friday, everybody. I love you all. If you're a member, there will be the members only live stream will be this Sunday. There will be a post for that. And yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you all so much. Happy Friday, everybody. I will see you next time. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks. And if you like this live stream, go ahead and like and subscribe. Well, you've already subscribed if you're in the chat, but yeah, go ahead and give it a like. Thank you all. All right. Have a good day. Thank you. And thank you to my moderators. Thank you all. You do a wonderful job.